Well, this is a combination. Number one, you have to have a entity in campus, in the university, which be responsible, which be in charge for this technology transfer. So once you have a TTO, or technology transfer office, with competent people that can do the job, they will actually select the project. And they will have to introduce them to potential investors, entrepreneurs, companies, and so on. This is the first job. Once you have this in place, companies will come to you, to this TTO, because they know they are professional. The project that they have been already evaluated to a certain extent. Not every project that every scientist thinks that is a great drug can become a drug or can become an algorithm commercially. So it's not limited to drugs or bio. It could be mechanical, medical devices. Me personally, I had a company. I started a company as an entrepreneur, a medical device company. After I resigned from YEDA, which developed a device for treating, or actually I wouldn't say treating, but assisting paralyzed people to get hand function. And this company started from scratch from a project from university, another university, not the Weizmann Institute, Ben Gurion University. And this company was at the end of, after I think 15 years, 16 years, was acquired by an American company. So this is the entire cycle where you start a company, develop a product, and you sell the company. Or even expand it, but in this case it was right strategically to do it. So you see, you need a combination of this understanding, of this experience, of this knowledge, in order to be successful in the next time. Well, let me put it this way. I will talk about mainly the most problematic or most difficult field is the pharmaceuticals. Because at the university, what you will have is an idea, a molecule that can do, work in vitro, you can get nice results with mice, but it's far away from being a product. And the way to go to a product, you have to go to some studies to demonstrate that it is efficiently activities as well as its toxicity of toxicology. And it doesn't harm the patient, and it particularly treats the patient. That's a long process, very costly. It could cost $800 million. It could take 10 years. Now, to convince a big company, pharmaceutical company, you cannot do it with a startup. You need a big company with $800 million. To convince them to get into this very early stage at the university, it's very complicated. And normally it will not work out. What can be done is to take this project to one or two further steps forward. For example, to get some money from the government or from other grants, like you can get it in Poland from the EU grants and so on. And go to a stage where you show, for example, complete preclinical studies. You complete the first stage, which is less expensive. Now, when you come with something that has been proven to be feasible in the lab and passed the toxicology test, it will be more interesting for a big company to look into it and to take the risk, to continue to take the risk. So this is, I would say, this is the extreme case where it's hard. But of course, medical devices are easier track. It's an easy track because FDA's or the regulatory requirements are different. The amount of investment is different. Money required is different. So here are two examples in the biofield, the life sciences. Of course, in mathematics and algorithms is different, or in mechanics or engineering and so on. In my views, there are several criteria that should be taken into consideration. It should be really, really innovative in terms of novel. and unique, and the market with $1 billion, and a competent company that can take it all the way. And this is not easy to find nowadays. Such projects are not. And the ones that are available, and you see them in the United States, some of them are, you can see in Israel because there are new drugs developed in the last decade or so. In the States, obviously, you see more, is the result of the excellence of the scientist and the amount of money invested in this research. Because you need this combination of excellence and funding. Excellence alone is not enough. Funding alone is helpful, but it's not enough. Well, venture capital will not invest directly in scientists because the mandate is to invest in a business. And in order to invest in a business, what can be done, for example, is to have what we call spin-offs companies. So the scientists, together with the TTO, found a startup company, a spin-off company, whereby the entire project is transferred to this spin-off company, and then there are good chances that a VC will invest money in this company. It could be through an incubator, for example, to facilitate this stage, because you can receive grants from the government. 50% of the money is given as a grant, and the rest should be matched. And this is a very important factor, because when you have to look for 50% matching, you have to work hard, and you keep this money better than you get 100% grant and no accountable if you lose it or not. TTOs should include or hire or retain competent people for this job of technology transfer, which, as I have defined earlier. You cannot have people with no experience. You can have a scientist that can prepare some scientific work and write things, but you need people with experience from the market, that have been down there. They've negotiated deals with big companies. They know how to raise money. They know how to present a project to a big company. They know how to look for the business opportunity in campus. So you need, and this could be one person, but it's hard to believe. It should be a team that can do this job together, as well as, of course, having a patent protection. So you need to work closely with competent lawyers and patent attorneys, because the license deal transaction itself is very complicated, and you need knowledge and experience. And I keep saying that again and again in this interview, because I see it as very crucial, of how to deal from a legal point of view on a licensing transaction. It's not obvious. It's not like buying a house or renting an apartment or anything of this kind of business that people are familiar with. It's completely different.